Hi, Hello everyone, I'm Rob the Robot from the Adobe Education team, and I would like to welcome you to the Inject Creativity Live Show. This is an online show for educators interested in digital creativity. This show is live on the Adobe for Education YouTube channel, as well as other social media, and past recordings can be viewed via bit.ly/adobe-inject. Any teacher, whether an Adobe user or not, in any K-12 or higher education sector and any subject area is welcome. Here are your hosts, Dr. Tim Kitchen and Erin Raithke.
Thanks, Rob. Hi, Erin, and welcome everyone to the Inject Creativity Live Show, a show aimed to inspire educators to enhance digital literacy, communication, and creativity skills for themselves and for their students.
Hi, Tim, and a special welcome to everyone who's joined us live on Thursday, the 6th of May, 2021, via the Adobe for Education YouTube channel, as well as the Australasian Adobe and Education Facebook group. We encourage you to say hi in the chat and let us know where you are from and where you teach.
While you're in the chat sharing a bit about yourself, we would like to do an acknowledgement of country. We respect and honour Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander elders past, present and future, as well as all Indigenous people from the lands we reach out to during this event.
We acknowledge their stories, traditions and living cultures. We acknowledge them as the first peoples in our lands, the first scientists and the first creatives, and we commit to building a brighter future together.
And we need to add our Maori friends too from New Zealand to that acknowledgement of country, because we have a special New Zealand segment coming up soon. During this episode, Adobe Education leader Lauren Sayer from Melbourne will be with us.
And our education thought leader for this episode is Adobe Education leader Brett Solarcas from Sydney.
We're also going to meet Claire Hackett and Tanya Marriott from Massey University in New Zealand, who will be sharing a special program with us. Before we hear from our guests, so let's see who has actually joined us live for the show so far and has said hi in the chat.
So while Tim checks that out, note that we're getting the chat feed from those of you on Facebook, LinkedIn and YouTube, but not always from Twitter. So if you're joining us from Twitter and you'd like your comments, questions, and your answer to the coming quiz question posted and published by us during the chat show, you may like to jump out of Twitter and into the Adobe for Education YouTube channel at youtube.com/Adobe for Education.
Erin, guess who is with us? Look, it's Timothy Cosgrove, Tim Cosgrove from Toronto in Canada, where it is 3:33 in the morning. And I'm guessing, Tim, -2 degrees. I'm just guessing. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But it's great to have you as a regular on this show and being so dedicated to being up at that hour in the morning just to be with us live when we do record this show. I do need to remind you, Tim, we do record this show. And in fact, last time I checked, we had over 1,000 teachers watching the recordings of this. So thank you so much, all those people who do watch the recordings, but it's always much more fun to have you live as well. And look, David Hyde from Chisholm TAFE in Victoria. David, welcome. I'm not sure if I've met you yet, so double welcome to you and thank you for joining us on this show. Tim is saying a special, Erin, great to see you again. Erin, you weren't with us on our last show. It's lovely to have you back.
Yeah, I was feeling a bit under the weather, unfortunately. I was very, very sad to call Tim and let him know that I wasn't going to be much good for the live show, but I'm very glad to be back.
Yeah, and we're very grateful to have you back. And of course, Michelle Dennis did a wonderful job in your seat at the time, but I think she's quite relieved to hand it back to you, I think. Facebook user who I suspect might actually be Mark Christie. I'm not sure. Hi, everyone from a dry season day in Darwin. It might not be Mark, it's hard to tell, but he's one of our regulars from Darwin. And Tim Cosgrove is telling us it's 3 degrees. So I was close.
Positively balmy and getting into summer then.
And we're thinking of you, Tim, with everything that's happening, particularly in Ontario at the moment with the COVID situation. We're thinking of you still in lockdown. and we're hearing reports that things aren't too good in your part of Canada, and we just hope that things go well. We're also thinking of all of our friends in India, and often we get Indian participants, but no one at the moment, and we're just really thinking of you guys because it's just horrible what's going on.
And Tim, it is Mark.
It is Mark.
Joining us from
Just
Darwin.
confirming. Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for joining us. Erin, you may notice that I'm in a different environment here. I've got my headset instead of my normal little lapel mic and so on. That's because I'm actually on the road. For the first time in 12 months, I'm in Sydney instead of my home in Melbourne.
Yes, and I understood you got some FaceTime with Jerry as well.
In fact, I'm going to bring Jerry up to the screen now in anticipation for this. And Jerry and I did something very interesting with the team yesterday. We went axe throwing. And I've got to say, Jerry, and I should have got the photo in advance, but Jerry, he won the competition. He is a axe throwing legend. And I wish if I had my sound effects, I'd give you a big crowd cheer, but I don't. So.
Yay!
Yes. Thank you. I think I found my new calling.
Very impressed. Well, you can go away now, Jerry. You can come back a bit later. Hey, Tim Cosgrove is just reminding us that he's still in lockdown with 2,941 new cases yesterday.
Oh, that's sobering numbers, isn't it?
Wow. Yeah. But, we're thinking of you, Tim. All right. Look, if you're on the chat, please feel free to throw in a hi at any stage, and we might bring you up, or comments to our presenters who are presenting. But in the meantime, we're going to carry on and just hear from Rob the Robot.
You're watching Inject Creativity Live with Tim Kitchen and Erin Raithke.
Thanks, Rob. Let's now welcome our good friend and the Inject Creativity Live moderator and techie whiz, Jerry Wong. Let's bring Jerry up. Bring it up. There he is.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. I will be looking out for your comments and questions in the chat and posting the most relevant ones. To encourage you to use the live chat, I have an Adobe-related quiz question for you. Name Adobe's free clouds.
Oh, tricky. 3 clouds from Adobe. And I'm just going to go to the chat now just to see who's going to be the first one to give us that, because it's not an easy one. Everyone knows the Creative Cloud. I mean, that's what this show is all about. But did you know that Adobe had 2 other clouds?
See, I could only think of 2 off the top of my head.
Well,
and I resisted the urge to Google to get the third.
Well, we're not getting much of a response from our live audience. And there's here we go. We're getting something now. Getting something from Mark.
Hey!
Document Cloud, Creative Cloud, and Experience Cloud. Well done. Nice work. I apologize, Mark, that I don't have my sound effects with me while I'm on the road, but I want to congratulate you for getting that right. There you go. Creative Cloud, which is what all the media products and all the products that we live and breathe when we're doing all sorts of creative stuff is. The Document Cloud, of course, that's what Acrobat has formed itself into, and a bunch of other applications that are all about becoming paperless. And the Experience Cloud is all about our data analytics side of the business, where to be honest, I don't know a heck of a lot about that side of the business. I'm not even going to explain it. But if you're interested, you can look it up yourself. Hey, Tim Cosgrove's also given it a go. Adobe DC, Adobe CC, Adobe Enterprise. Well, good try, but no. Not quite there, Tim. Good try. But Mark got it right. Well done. All right, let's hear from Rob the Robot again.
We hope you're enjoying this episode of Inject Creativity Live with Tim Kitchen and Erin Raithke.
Let's welcome our guests for this episode. Lauren, let's bring you up. There you are. Gosh, welcome. Welcome back to the show. For those who haven't met you before, tell us how long you have been an Adobe Education Leader for, where you teach, and what your current new role is.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being on the show, Tim and Erin. I have been an Adobe AEL for approximately 18 months, and I currently teach at Melbourne Girls Grammar, and I'm lucky enough to teach Year 9 Health at the moment. And I have a new role this year, which is Executive Director, Digital Learning, Research and Innovation at Melbourne Girls Grammar.
Which is pretty exciting, Lauren, because look, I've been in the teaching game now for 30 years. I know you find that very hard to believe because I must have started when I was a baby. But the reality is that in that whole time, to actually have a role like yours at an executive level in a K-12 school is very, very unique. So congratulations. That's awesome.
Yes, and I can't wait to see other schools follow suit and put digital and creative needs on their executives, because I think it's well overdue and sorely needed.
I think the first school to do it from memory was actually Wesley College in Perth. And that was about almost 20 years ago. And I really haven't heard much from it until now at that executive level to have that sort of role. But yeah, the more, the better. Absolutely. Are you enjoying the role, Lauren?
I'm loving the role. I think there's a big learning curve in a new school and new faces and new names, but you also get to meet wonderful people and teachers that are doing great things. And really, it's also wonderful to be in a girls' school with girls' education. I've always worked in co-ed, and being in a whole girls' school and seeing the differences there is just wonderful to see how confident they are and how open they are with their learning and talking about what they're wanting in education.
Wonderful.
Excellent. And Jerry, if you wouldn't mind bringing Brett up. So Brett, it is great to have you on the show tonight. Can you please tell us more about the Twitter hashtag AussieEd?
Brett, are you on mute? I think you're on mute, buddy. Wish I had $1 for every time I've said that.
What?
There we go. There we go.
Laureate, largest online network of teachers in Australia. It's a Twitter chat predominantly. This Sunday, we'll be talking about inspirational women, coinciding with Mother's Day. But that was a nice little response. But look, it's just a platform where a lot of teachers can get together, share resources, share thinking, and be that massive online digital staff room that we all desire.
Is it live on Sunday or is it like throughout the day?
It's on a Sunday evening, 8:30 p.m. on Australian Eastern Standard Time. But the chat sort of rolls quite often into the wee hours of the evening, into the early hours of the morning, depending on what time zone you're in.
Any idea how many teachers are using it? What your numbers are these days?
Oh, look, actually, someone did a study for their PhD just recently, and I've got some statistics. So I think on average, over a 6-month period, I think we had just over 14 and a bit thousand users on average per month. So we're talking some significant professional learning for teachers who are doing that in their own time. So it's like professional learning your way, choose your own adventure sort of stuff.
That's so good. That's so good. And Lauren, you can probably back me up here, but I reckon Twitter has been one of the best professional learning tools since it came out, and educators have taken onto it really well. Would you agree with that, Lauren?
Totally. And Twitter is such a central part of my life. I met my husband on Twitter. Twitter's responsible for 10 years of marriage now, as well as an amazing educational professional learning network.
We get to meet your doggos on Twitter.
Yes.
Good. And we do recommend AussieEd, hashtag AussieEd, as a great way of getting involved. If you haven't used Twitter before, that's a good starting point, just to be part of an incredibly good community. And from what I understand, Brett, it's not just Australian. Even though it says AussieEd, there's actually teachers from all over the world who get involved in that community because it is so active. So congratulations.
Oh, thank you. And you know what? It's not on me. It's not congratulations for me. It's congratulations for the amazing team that run it and the beautiful community that support it and make it the powerhouse that it is.
Yeah, and a big shout out to Zena as well, who's one of the other co-founders of it. And we'd love to get her on the show at some point too. Not this year though, Zena. We're booked up this year. Next year. All right, Claire and Tanya, let's bring you up to the screen as well, all the way from New Zealand. Tell us about what you guys do at Massey University.
Right. Well, Claire and I are running a brand new degree, a bachelor's degree in concept design. And we believe was definitely a New Zealand first. It's probably an Australasian first as well. So it's a 4-year degree focusing on design for animation, film, game, location-based experiences. And so that's what we're primarily doing at the moment. But we're also here to talk to you today about the Earth Guardians competition that we're running. So the Earth Guardians competition, we're wanting to find amazing characters. So that's what we're doing.
Tell us about the Adobe programs that you potentially use in your degree.
Oh, okay. So when we're looking at doing concept design, we are getting students to draw and ideate, usually through Photoshop. But sometimes when they come to us as first years, they might not have access to a lot of drawing tools like tablets and things like that. We do have those available, but we've also got systems for students who might not have those tools as well. So we tend to use things like Adobe Illustrator and get them to take things into Adobe Animate if they want to animate them. And if they want to put short films together or do process videos, we can use Premiere, we can use After Effects. Yeah, absolutely. So
we can pretty much use everything.
Everything, yeah, absolutely. And the kitchen sink.
Yeah, what do we get our hands on?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And just to let people from outside of New Zealand know that New Zealand was one of the first countries to go almost entirely Creative Cloud with their K-12 schools. And the adoption of the Creative Cloud in high schools, particularly in New Zealand, was incredible over the last, it's been probably 5 years now. So are you seeing that growth as those students are coming out of K-12 and getting into university? Are you seeing that they already have a bit of a background before you get at them?
Yeah, no, we definitely are. And so we're seeing some really, really strong students coming through into our first year program who've already got really good kind of technical skills with Adobe products, which is really amazing. What we bring them in that first year is more of the critical contextual thinking, like why does the character exist the way that they do? So there's still much to learn, but it's super important that they've had their hands on the tools to begin with before they get to us.
It's using the breadth of tools. They come to us with a few ideas and we teach them how to expand those and use the different platforms to be able to really push their ideas and their concepts, what they want to do.
Oh, that's great. And I should have said kia ora to you instead of hello, so I apologize. But kia ora. Thank you so much for joining us. And
fantastic.
Erin, over to you.
Yes, Lauren. So can you please give us a teaser about what you'll be sharing with us later in the show?
Yes, not a problem, Erin. I will be talking about getting started right from the very beginning of Adobe Spark and how you can use it, and a few tips and tricks for teachers wanting to have a go at it tomorrow.
Wonderful.
Perfect.
And Brett, what will you be sharing?
Well, I'm very excited. I love poetry. I love being creative. And Tim, I have seen you do a poem for me at the Ed Poet Society Poetry Slam about 2 years ago. And I've written a special poem that I can share with you all about digital learning.
Fantastic. No, that'll be a joy to look forward to.
And Claire and Tanya, what you already kind of covered what you'll be sharing with us later tonight. Did you have anything more that you wanted to add or tease us with, or did you want to keep it all buttoned down till later?
We definitely want to talk about the Earth Guardians competition. So this is a really amazing concept competition open to students from all over the world. So we specifically want to see entries from your students.
Wonderful. Well, we look forward to hearing from all of you later in this episode.
You're watching Inject Creativity Live with Tim Kitchen and Erin Raithke.
Thanks, Rob. Oh, and thank you, Erin. Erin, tell us about the Get to Know Your Adobe Apps webinar series and how that's going.
Well, it's led by the Adobe education leaders and Adobe solution consultants. The Get to Know Your Adobe Apps webinar series now features recordings of some outstanding presentations that are well worth sharing with your colleagues.
We have completed session 1 and 2 for middle school K-12 teachers and senior secondary teachers in K-12, and also for higher ed teachers as well. Session 3 starts next week.
If you want to find out more about these live and recorded webinars, go to bit.ly/Adobe-webinars21.
And Lauren, I hope you're ready because your intro is about to start.
Hi folks, we are about to be inspired by an AEL, an Adobe education leader. AELs are passionate about the use of Adobe tools to inspire creative learning and teaching experiences in the delivery of either primary, secondary or post-secondary curriculum. The first step to becoming an AEL is to be an ACE, an Adobe Creative Educator, via edx.adobe.com/Adobe-Creative-Educator. You don't have to be an Adobe expert to be an ACE, just a teacher interested in engaging students through creative digital learning experiences. The ACE program is a free international micro-credentialing program. It only takes a few hours to earn your Level 1 badge, and the focus is on creativity rather than Adobe. Please share this program with your colleagues and get involved. Who knows, you may one day also become an Adobe education leader.
Right, Lauren, I did have to mute you there because we've got a little bit of spill over to your microphone, but welcome back to the show and over to you.
Thank you so much, Tim and Erin. I'm going to have a big chat about Adobe Spark and how I got involved with Adobe Spark, and we're going to talk about it from the very beginning. And I've got a little Adobe Spark. I think when presenting with Adobe Spark, you always have to have an Adobe Spark to be able to do it. And in there are some links that I think will become really helpful for you and when you're using Adobe Spark. But I think one of the big areas to get started is Adobe Spark is you need to get organized, your access, and get your resources. And where do you get your resources from with it? And I'll talk about what it actually is in a second, but make sure that you've got access to the Creative Cloud. And working in my role in digital education, one of the things that I'm aware of is a lot of teachers out there maybe don't know that they have access to the Adobe Creative Cloud collection. And I would encourage you, go and talk to your head of IT or your digital learning specialist. And if you don't have access, ask them how to get access, because it's incredibly affordable and it's a tool that you can use in your classroom that plugs into so many other areas. I've put a link in there for the Spark Education Guide, and I'm really aware that sometimes people don't want a video or a YouTube on how to learn things. And I've got lots of teachers that still would really like something to be able to read, either printing out or on an iPad. And that's a really important place for you to have a look at. And then the Adobe Education Exchange. And I had a look on there today and a search of it. And there is over 400 different resources for Adobe Spark that are there ready to go, of lesson plans, examples, possibly everything you can want. There's the Adobe Spark Teacher Toolkit, and I've used this in my roles when running training for teachers. I think in a digital learning space, one of the really time-consuming things is to develop those professional learning materials, and then when you go and run it with teachers. On the Education Exchange, there is the full kit with your PowerPoint that's ready to go, pre-made examples so you don't have to go and make all the examples, and all of the imagery and exercises to go. So basically it's PD in a cloud format, and you just download it and you go with it. And it makes you look incredibly profesh when you're ready to go present, and you look like you are the best presenter ever. So I would encourage anyone that wants to earn a few brownie points in their school and run a PD, have a go at downloading the Educator Toolkit. There's 3 different parts of Adobe Spark that I think are really, really good for you to look at. And there are 3 apps and 1 website. So at my school, we predominantly use the website, but the apps are spectacular as well. So Spark Post, working in a girls' school, this is one that my girls love, because they can make memes and they can definitely make their Instagram posts absolutely fantastically beautiful using Spark Post by being able to create those stunning graphics. Spark Page is where I tend to use a lot of things for school projects, reports, being able to give presentations, because it moves us from that PowerPoint that just sits there and never gets seen again to something that you can interact with. And it is something that they continue to grow on as well, which I think is beautiful. One of the areas that we're looking at the moment is being able to use Spark Page as a portfolio of learning in a specific subject. So I've got some girls that are starting to trial to use Spark Page of where they're putting their notes, and when they make a flashcard or a different area for memorizing different terms in health, Spark Page is where they're starting to put all that. And then Spark Video, a really easy place to create compelling video stories, which our youngest students can really pick up and have a go at. But one of the things I think everybody should do, and if you're watching right now, don't make something while you're here. Open it up. I don't mind if you open it in another window, but have a go at making something, because it will take you less 30 seconds to get something going. So just a few ideas to get started. Classroom signs and posters are an amazing place for you to start. And being able to do this, and I'll show you some examples of classroom signs and posters, but just jumping onto Spark Post, creating those graphics, saving them to PDF, putting them up in your learning management system in a couple of seconds is an incredibly visual way to do it, but also high quality print graphics that you're able to print out and put up, and it makes you look like you're a bit of a graphic designer, which I am obviously not. So where do you get started? I'm not going to play these videos because I'm aware that we've got lots of people in today, but if you go to YouTube, there's some great different examples. I've put a couple in this post so that we can have a look, and you can come and have a look at it later. But this one is an amazing story around how this teacher uses Adobe Spark in their grade 4 classroom. And I would encourage you to look at these great video tutorials. And again, they're hundreds, and the best thing about them is no more than 5 minutes. So I'm not asking you to watch a 30-minute epic how-to. It's 5 minutes. And there are lots of tutorials that people have made. So I've put a couple there to get started. So some quick ideas that I think I'd like you to have a go at. And if you want to Twitter me on Lily Lauren over the next week with some of the ones that you've done, and we'll start to get a dialogue, because I think that's a wonderful way to do it. But, we can have book quotes that are there, redesigning covers of books, our science lab rules that are there, being able to do a story in a comic book strip, or being able to do graphic stories, and working with students that I work with in learner profiles, being able to have those visual images that match the story is incredibly important. And down here is possibly, and apologies, Tim and Erin, if this has been shown before, but when I was doing a bit of research in this today, I came across with this blog from Adobe, and I'll just switch over to 16 ways to using the Adobe Spark in the classroom. And I was a bit embarrassed when I saw when it was made, because I haven't found it before, but it was such a great post that I'm going to challenge myself with a few over the next few weeks of really looking at single picture pages and being able to make visual stories. Sight words, I would use that for flashcards, and being able to do that for different terms. In my classes at the moment, we're currently looking at the brain and different parts of the brain, and being able to create the image and the part of the brain, and what part of the brain is activated by what piece of exercise. Being able to create that image of the brain and the exercise is something I'm going to have a go with my girls tomorrow afternoon. Narrative prompts, rhyming, second languages, and being able to use that, storytelling, book reports, essays. I have to say, being able to put your essay into a Spark page that's added, my girls looked at an opinion essay and they had to put statistics in it. Instead of looking at 20 Word documents, looking at across a page is an incredibly powerful area. And video journals, and I spoke a bit about that before, of looking at those video journals that are there of what am I learning, where am I going, and actually having that grow week in, week out. And it's the best thing about it is they can publish it and share it, and they have the ownership of it, where a lot of learning management systems and portfolios we own the data as far as where we sit. It sits in our learning management system. These are truly student owned, and they can share with other people around it. And I think that's an important thing. I've been in a lot of data information at the moment, and I know that our younger students, and I'm having a lot more girls ask me, where is my data and how can I control it and how do I have it? I like that your students own their own Spark, and I think that's really important. And down the bottom here, and it's in the link, is some great examples from other schools as well. So with all of that, I encourage you to have a go in the next week, sending it back to me if you want, or bringing it to the next one, and really looking at how you can use Spark post, page, or video in your classrooms. Thanks, Erin and Tim.
Thank you, Lauren. And I'll bring Erin up as well here. I'm just going to bring up the address again. We've put it into the chat. So those who are with us live, you can see in your chat, if you're in YouTube, if you're in Twitter, Periscope, or in Facebook, I think, you should be able to see the Spark link there. If you can't see the Spark link in the chat, we will be posting it in our fireside chat at the end of this show, and then you can ask Lauren about it and get access to it through the Blue Jeans link, as we always do after the show, so you can interact with Lauren. But Lauren, thank you. So many great ideas. Oh.
And I think that students owning it and being able to take it from high school through to university is such a really powerful part of the Adobe Cloud. And I've been at some cybersecurity discussions recently of students owning their own data, and I think it's a wonderful thing that Adobe keeps their Creative Cloud data, and in terms of it's theirs, it's not the school's work, it's their work. And I think that's a really hidden gem that our girls are increasingly being aware of.
Yeah, and we don't own any of the copyright. It's not ours, not like with some other companies where they kind of then brand or own the rights to it. So it's all yours, which is really, really cool. Lauren, thank you so much for your time. And I can tell with the way Erin is reacting to things that she's actually building a Spark page at the moment, aren't you, Erin? I can tell.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Erin's
It's the eyes darting backwards and forwards, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or is it the conspicuous sound of my mechanical keyboard?
It could be that too. Anyway, well done, Lauren. Thank you so much for your time today.
You're watching Inject Creativity Live with Tim Kitchen and Erin Raithke.
Claire and Tanya, thank you for joining us for this episode. And I want you to tell us more about the Earth Guardians character design competition.
All right. So we're really passionate about the environment, and we're really concerned about what's going on out there. And obviously, prior to COVID, we had huge student marches on Parliament to look at climate change and climate action. It's a really, really big issue globally, but it's also something, I'm just going to move over a little bit. It's something that that we're really motivated to do something about. So we've created this really amazing concept design challenge called Earth Guardians, where we want designs, we want students to come up with designs for characters that, I'm just looking at my little notes here, defend the Earth using nature and the elements to inspire your designs. And so this is its second year that it's been running. It's the brainchild of our Kairahi Astrid Visier, who's put together this really amazing competition. And Claire and I are judges on the panel. So we just thought we'd come in on the show and just do a quick little plug for this competition and to see if anyone's really interested in getting involved and submitting some designs. Students can submit work digitally, or they can work traditionally.
Photos of their work, something like that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So they can design characters, they can design game levels, they can sculpt things, they can do a hybrid of a whole bunch of different things. What we're really looking for is stories. So,
absolutely.
Yeah,
stories. And we got so many great stories behind our characters last year. We actually ran this during COVID. And that was a really interesting time because, of course, students were using whatever they could find around the house as opposed to having lots and lots of gear available to them. Yeah. So what we would do is we would record little videos, cut them together, using like Adobe Premiere or something that we had at home, and we could send out little tutorials, show them how to use household materials to make ink washes or something like that. Anything that they could play with. We taught them a few basic drawing skills, shape drawing skills, and really just got them into it, got them to look at how they could be creative and explore their shapes and forms and their stories through that.
Yeah. So we got some really wonderful prizes. There are lots of categories. And so if students are based in New Zealand, Aotearoa, there's trips to Weta Workshop. However, there's a really wonderful little... I'm trying to find it here. Here we go. The Moana, Oceana Narratives Award. This one in particular. So this is for entries that display homage to atua across Te Moana Nui a Kiwa. So anything that talks about the kind of the transference across the Pacific Ocean and connecting all of our countries together. So that's one of the particular sections. There's an award for best game concept. And probably one of the most exciting ones is the prize for best international student is a 16-inch Cintiq tablet, which we use in our studio with all of our Adobe products. So yeah, It's a really awesome prize. Yeah,
that's fantastic. And of course, it's open to anyone in Australia and New Zealand, but what about other parts of Asia Pacific?
It is, absolutely. So we had our previous winner last year, Nathan, came from the Philippines. So we are casting far and wide,
We've got some people from the Philippines with us live at the moment. I noticed a comment before which we didn't actually post. So I'll just remember who it was. We've got a few people from the Philippines who join us regularly, and I'll just bring up the post there, but it doesn't say who it is. It could be Roland.
It's probably Roland. Yeah, he's been doing a lot of work to build the creative community in the Philippines. Has been very conspicuous on all of the social medias. I'm watching everything he does, and it'd be interesting if he can get some of his inspired learners to get involved.
Yeah.
Do you need to have a teacher to be part of it, or can you just as a student enroll in?
No. Yeah, students can just jump onto our website and they can register and submit their entry by themselves. But it's a really wonderful program to be running within the school program, or within the school system. If you've got like a project within an art class or a technology class,
you're looking for a project.
Yeah, you're looking for a project. Because I think it's the final output is a character, but it's really open-ended as to what that is. This is a guardian that's there to advocate for the planet. So there's a lot of like deep, rich meaning and storytelling and kind of purpose behind that. So you could pretty much put this project into any curriculum. Yeah,
I wonder if any students could build on something that they were working on for the Earth Day project using Adobe Fresco.
Yeah, they absolutely could, absolutely. And so we often find that students have a particular passion project, and so this might be like another iteration of it. So the brief is incredibly open-ended. It's a guardian inspired by the elements, and so yeah, absolutely, you could evolve anything into this competition.
Totally.
Yeah.
Now, question without notice. Tell us about your backdrop. Did you make those things, or what are they?
These things in the back. So some of these are my dolls and toys. So yeah, these are my little characters. I'm a toy designer and a sculptor. And you asked me before if I was a doctor. I'm actually a PhD student at the moment. So some of my little toys I'm making. These really cute little characters these are what I'm calling eco-fiction toys. They're like little environmental toys. There's like little characters that exist within little characters.
Oh, that's yours.
Yeah.
So, as a sculptor, a lot of them hand created or crafted, or do you use 3D printers or a bit of a combination of everything? Fantastic.
I use both. Yeah. So I started out physically, and now I do a lot of digital sculpting. So within the program, I'm the sculptor and Claire's the painter. So yeah. She's the 2D gal. So Claire is like amazing in Photoshop. She can do things that I can't even work out how to do. So yeah,
that's right. We're at her house, so we've got her toys behind us.
Well, Claire and Tanya, I know it's getting late. It's 9:10 at night, and you've given up your time to be with us on this show. We really appreciate it, and we encourage teachers who are watching this, who are watching the recording of this, to get involved with Earth Guardians. Jerry, can you bring up the link again just to finish off this segment on the slide, but also on the ticker? And so we can get one more look at that. And then if you're able to still hang around for our chat afterwards, our informal chat, then people who are with us live can actually get that link live and maybe ask you some more questions about it. But we really appreciate your time. And thank you so much. Big round of applause from everyone. I'm sorry that I haven't got my sound effects here today, but it's all good. All right. Thank you very much.
We hope you're enjoying this episode of Inject Creativity Live with Tim Kitchen and Erin Rathke.
Erin, we now have over 20,000 teachers who have enrolled in at least level 1 of the Adobe Creative Educator program. Please do promote this. Everybody, promote this program with your colleagues via adobe.ly/ACE. Remember, the focus is not on Adobe skills, which can be a bit intimidating for a lot of teachers, but an understanding of the importance of creativity in education right across the curriculum everywhere.
So Dr. Kitchen is running the next Be a Creative Educator course on May 24th at 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for anyone who'd like to be guided through the Level 1 course. More information about this can be found at bit.ly/adobe-edu-creative.
Excellent. Now I've got so many videos in the queue. I'm trying to find my thought leader one so we can bring in Brett. There it is. I found it.
Hi folks. Well, it's now time to welcome our education thought leader for their 5-minute gem to inspire us and make us think more deeply about the importance of our role as educators.
And our thought leader for this episode of Inject Creativity Live is Brett Solarcas. Over to you, Brett.
Yay! Great to be here. Very excited. I have written a poem for our audience today. I'm going to be actually coming back and some of these sessions a little bit later on, and I'm actually going to do a little bit of work on how we can integrate poetry and we can teach poetry more effectively using some Adobe tools. So I thought, what better way to start than sharing a poem with you all. So this poem is all about digital inquiry. Ancient lessons repeated annually are left behind. Old words and photocopied instructions act as flaccid chains of tedious impotence printed onto A4 sheets of paper. New words promoting digital inquiry sound strong like Hercules, thought-provoking and sure to please. The teacher calls to her students, climb aboard, I'm a runaway locomotive, I'm a high-speed train, word train about to collide with your tympanic membrane. Provocations are laid gently like Eric Carle's eggs on a full moon night. Curiosity hatches, and like a very hungry caterpillar, it devours information as if it's 3 plums on a warm Wednesday morning. Stand back. Students are going online. Their brains are engaged and the learning's sublime. Information flow has now begun. To the teacher, it is poetry. To the student, it is poetry. Try because the effort is real. As they toil, they wrestle with understanding like an anaconda trying to drown them in a sea of comprehension. Impersonating Tarzan, the teacher swings in to the rescue to rescue trapped students. She weaves a virtual cocoon for me and for you. We enter as one, but we leave as two. In the chrysalis of support from which we all momentarily reside, the teacher whispers, the words you know, the meaning you miss. Listen here while I show you how to avoid the abyss. Wisdom is shared. A butterfly emerges. All only possible when tech and teaching converges. Thank you.
I think that deserves a bit of a, here we go, yes, well done. That was beautiful, Brett. You know, that's the first poem that we've had on this show, and I'm really looking forward to seeing your next session a little bit later on in the year where you're going to be using some Adobe tools to actually encourage the art of poetry. I'm really looking forward to seeing how you're going to do that. That's great.
Does that make Brett our resident poet laureate?
Oh, I will take that title. Dr. Kitchen, Inject, Adobe Poet Laureate.
I love it. That's good. Hey, Brett, are you planning another poetry slam at some point? Have you got anything in mind?
I did have a very special epic-sized one lined up towards the middle of last year that obviously got a little bit slammed because of COVID. But I'm kind of in a little bit of talks to do a digital poetry slam, maybe a little bit later this year. So I will let you know.
Good. Yeah, I enjoyed the one that you did at the Powerhouse Museum in Sydney. That was part of EduTech, wasn't it? That was
yeah. It was on one of the evenings that EduTech was running. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great fun. Well, thank you so much, Brett. Appreciate you giving up some of your time and being our thought leader for tonight. And we look forward to seeing you again later in the year.
Awesome. Love it.
Well done.
You're watching Inject Creativity Live with Tim Kitchen and Erin Raithke.
Well, I am very excited to announce the first official face-to-face Adobe in Education professional learning event since COVID will be taking place in Melbourne on the afternoon of Tuesday, the 8th of June at John Paul College in Frankston.
It really is exciting that Adobe are now starting to get back into face-to-face professional learning events.
Adobe Education leaders Michelle Dennis and Justin DeLacy and Adobe Creative educator Tanya Moran will be helping me run this event.
Any teacher in the Melbourne region is welcome to join the session, so please, please, please share and let your Melbourne colleagues know all about it.
Now, if you're on Facebook and you're not already a member of the Australasian Adobe Education Community Facebook group, please join via facebook.com/groups/AUSAEL.
This really is a great way to keep regularly involved with Adobe in Education and the wider community.
I'm looking forward to our next Inject Creativity Live event, Erin. It will be on the 19th of May on a Wednesday again, back to the Wednesday routine at 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Our AEL presenter for the night will be Adobe Education leader Steve O'Neill from Perth, who will be focusing on linking Adobe tools to assessment.
Our thought leader for the next episode is the wonderful Dan Hassler.
So for those of you watching the recording of this episode, join us live if you can in the future. It's always much more fun and interactive when you're live. And for those watching live, get ready to move to bluejeans.com/kitchen.adobe for our fireside chat, and we will see you all in 2 weeks' time.
Well, folks, thank you so much for watching this episode of Inject Creativity Live. For those who are watching live, join us via bluejeans.com/kitchen.adobe for an informal, non-recorded fireside chat to meet and interact with our presenters, as well as complete the feedback form and apply for a professional development certificate. If you are not watching this live, join us live next time. Use this QR code or link to find out more about dates and topics. On behalf of Dr. Kitchen and Erin Raithke, don't forget to keep being creative.
See ya. Bye.